If either of you had to tell somebody about this illness and they said something like, well, young healthy people don't get it, and if they do, it's mild, so what if you get the flu for a few days? What would be your first response, Peggy?
Oh, my first response was, I will tell you, I've had the flu in the past.
Of course.
And this was worse than any flu I have ever had. And that I would tell them not to take it lightly. We're seeing the gamut for people that get this. We just don't know how it's going to hit any individual. You don't know. You might get a case where you get to stay home, and you might get a case where you're in the hospital for several months. You have no idea how this disease is going to impact you. And if we can prevent that, that's what I would think you would want to do. I had just traveled up to Washington State to visit my mother. She is ill, and they opened up their state while I was there, and it was just shocking to see people just walking around without masks and not thinking about it. And I went in to go into Costco, and you know, Costco requires you to wear a mask even up there. And I have my mask and I'm going in, and there was a gentleman ahead of me, and the lady said, you have to put on a mask or you can't come into the store. And he just spewed profanities and was upset and said, you guys are taking this to the extreme. And I'm just looking at this gentleman like, you have no idea how sick this could really make you.
I know there are many things going on in our nation right now. It's a time of great crisis and trouble. But with that said, I really believe that we need to protect human life, and we can best do that by wearing masks. We really can. I mean, it's something everybody ought to be doing. Whitney, what would you say to somebody who says, oh, I don't really need to be all that careful. My friend's mom got it and all she did was sneeze once.
I mean, I would say at the time, the precautions weren't put into place of a mask, and I wish that they had been, because it would have saved my illness and my family. And even with myself, I'm very good with washing my hands, and I wash my hands after seeing my patients, and that still wasn't enough. So I would not wish this upon anyone. And the fact that from me, it's spread to my dad, and my mom also got it and thankfully was asymptomatic. So it's not to, like you said, not to be taken lightly. It is a terrible, and it affects people. Thankfully, I had it in such a mild case, but I've also seen the most severe case of it as well. And I think that's also hard for people, is that they don't see what these patients look like in the hospital and how long it really can take to recover from it. You really don't hear these stories yet, and we're not hearing them because half those patients are still in the hospital fighting for their life.
I have friends that have texted me that, oh, we're going to go out and, protest, with everything that's going on. And I just tell them, what I went through, and the protesters and whatnot. I mean, I can see it on the news. They're not practicing social distancing. They're not practicing use of face masks. Why would you put yourself at risk like that? If it hit me so hard, a relatively healthy individual, it can hit anybody.